what we're building out for the upcoming generation. Thank you very much. And a round of applause to the ladies up in the stage. Thank you.
Dear guests, it is a great pleasure for me, WBAF partners and senators, this particular session of the conference, and we will have a guest as a participant of the round table. Of course, Maria Marenko, our senator. Dear Maria, thank you very much for the previous moderation, and looking forward to having your moderation again now. Please have your seat. And dear Michael Martin of Spain, Michael, please. Dear Simon from Morocco and Spain, please. Around here, yeah, please have your seats. We have one. Azerbaijan, Elchin, he will join, and our guest and honorable participant of this session is Professor Thompson. Could you please also join to the WBA roundtable? Roundtable will center on missions of the WBAF. Nurse, enhancing digital inclusion, increasing financial inclusion, and promoting gender equality. So each of our partners will share some insights from the regions, and however, Madame Moreko will moderate the session with her excellent success. Thank you.
Long time no seen. To put on my WBAF, as Mr. Chairman Labors Altuntas mentioned before. So I'm Maria Marenko, for those who just joined us online. I am the Senator for Sweden and Governance Committee, and also board member of the U.S. Country Office, Albania Country Office. So you can see where this is going, right? So there's going to be a little bit of element of everything. So I here because we are in a startup forum, I would like to hear your views in your own words, what smart finance means to you. And may I start on my peer, Mr. Miguel Martin, Senior Senator for Spain.
It's working? Oh, yeah, nice work. So a pleasure being here with all fellow World Business Angel family and the community. I've been representing World Business Angel in Spain for the last 7 years. I'm currently SDG Science, Technology and Innovation Committee. And the Smart Finance, I think that we have been on this, how to say, with this topic for the many years. Finally, it's investors that not want to be passive investors, but want to be really proactive, supporting startups with the best knowledge, contacts, and especially the time and reputation of the angel investors, because many times happen that the startups can get much more than money from the early stages. And personally, now we can provide know-how about industry or technology, and also supporting with time and reputation. It's important for a startup to have the backup of important key players in every ecosystem and offering them endorsing at global level.
Moving to representing the beautiful country of. So we need some local talents as well. Thank you very much.
I just on Mobile, Moroccan Business Asian Network. We're a network of almost 15 members. We've just only 3 years ago. We are trying system and our network. We've met many people and many startups. We're very interested in lots of new technology because we have knowledge in our country. We do a lot of things in agriculture, but we have a problem with water, so we need to tax the problem. We have many sessions. We have these and the ecosystem, which is very dynamic, a new public dynamics in Morocco. So, but we're at the beginning of the journey.
We have a second representative of Morocco, but I think like international partner, that defines because you speak so many languages and you're so international. What is it exactly?
And it's really great to be here in my native country. Morocco. I was born here in Tangier in the north. Spain, where I'm an investor. I became entrepreneurship when I was 25 years old. And it's really interesting when you talk about smart finance because what exactly is smart finance? You know, from a financial perspective, smart finance will be so how can you actually achieve that when you're in such a volatile sector as startups? Well, there are several ways you can actually improve the smart aspect of investing in startups, which is, for example, public-private partnerships. You see, if or invest in startups at the same time as business angels or venture capitalists, I think you reduce that risk a lot because usually governments do not understand how startups work. You just listen to beautiful ideas and throw. So, as Miguel said, if governments and institutions start listening or the knowledge of business angels, things can improve a lot. So that actually would be a first step towards.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tax Executive Director of the Mindless Space. You're not wearing a WBF hat, but we would love to hear your insights. Maybe because you are so well connected also with excellence in innovative smart finance means in your sector.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and I couldn't agree more with my colleague. On, we are builders of innovative ecosystems. That is our mission, and we have practiced this. We've become somewhat good at it in the U.S. We understand is that innovation becomes sort of fundamental to everything we do. At Arizona State University, every student must take an innovation class, a course in entrepreneurship. But I view smart finance and smart entrepreneurship as the ability to drive down risk. I claim that entrepreneurship does not have to be super risky. There are actually quite intelligent ways that one can approach this idea of entrepreneurship. In fact, we have taken on the definition of entrepreneurship as very simply, all of the questions have not yet been answered. That does not mean that I'm willing to take on extraordinary risk. I can actually approach my entrepreneurship journey in a modest risk way, and one of the ways to buy down that risk is to lean on those that have gone before, to attract their expertise, to invite them to come into my team and give me counsel, to give me understanding, to give me perspective. And in doing so, I'm able to learn from their experience, from their hard knocks, from their challenges and difficulties, so that I don't have to repeat the same. I claim that smart finance is indeed smart entrepreneurship. It is not about taking risk. It is about de-risking the investment, maximizing the return.
Interesting. Thank you very much. And I know we lovely gentleman sitting at the corner on my right side, but we did actually, but maybe we can give you the opportunity action of yourself and also hearing your thoughts on what finance means to you. The first.
Of course. Thank you so much. My name is Sadowski. I'm from Uzbekistan and a local partner of the ICESCO in our country. So what I can say about this smart finance, and especially in Uzbekistan, we're in the very beginning of our path on the building startup ecosystem in the whole country. All those movements started not a long time ago. And there's a particular problem of the smart money for the growing startups because of the several reasons. First of all, it's a lack of experience. Very little amount of investors are really been to startups and know how do they work. Right now, for example, we are raising our first generation of the founders who eventually sometime will exit their companies and will help others to grow, because who knows better than a guy or a girl that have already started startup and succeed in this. We also have some investors, and right now we see the very interesting wave where there is every year we can see more and more venture funds are opening. We hear more about the exits, more about the new investors, new investments, and it's a really good sign, I may say. I'm sure that next 2-3 years will be pretty crucial for the startup ecosystem here in Uzbekistan, where it will be decided in which direction the whole sphere will go.
Thank you very much. So we, as you can see, for the audience but also watching online, there is a very diverse panel. We have, of course, emphasize some of my personal involvement in the ethical and committee, and post. Perhaps many of us have the time to reflect for businesses and the way how we do businesses in what we would like to call the new normal. If we're there yet, we don't really know. So I would like to hear as in before, we were very people in general were delivering to us with the pandemic to reassess our businesses, become digital. And maybe now we also want to learn more who, not only what you are presenting to us, but who are we doing business with? Locality plays a role in entrepreneurship, but also in investments. For your, I'm gonna throw the curveball. There's a lot of curveballs that I like to throw on the panel. Walk away down to my end. The mic is yours.
Okay, hello once again. Very important to know with whom are you making those business. After the COVID and during the COVID, it was for the Uzbekistan with very in business in person, so meet in a lot some business issues. It was really opening when you, and it's really working. Very important in investment gathering rises. Thought our startups in our program documents, for example, they need to prepare for the potential investor, not just a PowerPoint presentation. Be unicorn in mind to secure this information, to show your traction, how to say to investors that you're really looking for, and that probably wasn't a big issue in Uzbekistan. Somewhere 3-4 months of the strict quarantine there. But I think the growing startups now are understanding the new methods, new methodologies are the most. And I think that our goal is to show the local people, local companies, and especially startups of the way how to do it internationally.
Well said. Thank you very much.
So it's a great question. You introduced this idea of youth and perhaps other really compelling questions. I'll make an observation, and that is that after the pandemic in the U.S., we went through something called the Great Resignation. And perhaps it was worldwide. What personally happened was we had time to ponder the why. Why were we doing what we were doing? And many people, I think, combine this with sort of the aspiration of the younger generation to do something good for society. We come out of the pandemic with, I think, an incredible focus, perhaps an incredible opportunity to really think about the why in entrepreneurship. In fact, I claim, and we have to actually implement this in our programming, every single entrepreneur should have a social impact statement. What is it that you're going to do for society in addition to your sustainable business model? What is your why? And does it have a compelling resonance with your community? In fact, are you taking responsibility for your community in the process of being an entrepreneur? So I think we are at an interesting point in time where not only is this acceptable, I believe it's going to be demanded by the younger generation. And I, for one, applaud the pivot.
Thank you very much. So we're looking to standardize to be the norm perhaps in years, maybe not that too far away, as you were saying.
Interesting topic, definitely, because what exactly is ethical government? You know, ethics vary depending on the culture and depending on mindsets. So you can't really set up. Sweden's not the same as South America, for example. Or about smart finance. The link between smart finance and good government, I think, is if you prepare a specific sandbox with good regulation, laws, you'll potentially attract good capital. But at the same time, that's back to a very basic question. If you have a 100,000 or in Africa,
Is that a question
where
to
would
me?
where would you invest?
Although, and those are the only options.
Europe or Africa, where would you put your money in?
I would probably half and half, to be sure, because I don't want to put all eggs in one basket.
Which is an excellent answer. It'd probably be 80% Europe, 20% Africa. Why? Because we are attracted to healthy sandboxes. We want to know that we're putting our money in safe places. So let's say Africa governments with ethical governance, they need to prepare new sandboxes to attract full story then you will drag more attention, and more attention. That's the way to go. So perhaps the link between the question you're asking right now and the previous question is sandboxes. So what are you offering me as an investor in order to come to your country and invest in there? And then I couldn't agree more with my colleague here, especially the limits of what employees are able to quit. Like, this is my limit now. I'm not gonna accept it. I'm not gonna say pressure, but like hard working, etc. So the new normal, I think people looking for happiness more than just.
Thank you. I will make a mental note of that. Definitely come back to it in a quite philosophical.
Yes, thank you. About ethics, I think that it has to short term. If you want long results, you have to make deals, and it has to be fair. And you have even within your network, you have to have a code of conduct. Let's work on having this sort of chart, so everything is kind of for market where things are not written, not formalized. It's very important for us to have formalization as to come back to the where you have to invest. I used to work for climate finance. Many African countries suffer from climate changes, and they don't have the money to tackle the new and enormous risks they have to face. So I think that there is a responsibility also of the main polluters, of the main gas emitters to maybe provide some capital to be about ethics.
Thank you. Mr. Martin.
Okay, I know that we are in a big delay, so I will try to make it. Being ethical is not just important for business. It's the way that everybody should be behaving in a daily life. So normally, if you are ethical in your personal life, you will be also ethical in side and the opposite. Before we are running out of time, I would like to thank you, ICESCO, for organizing this amazing event. South Spain, very close to, I discovered 2 days ago that I'm closer to Rabat than Madrid. So one of my tasks for coming back to Spain will be promoting the relationship between the angel investors and the Spain and Morocco, and hopefully from this meeting we'll be opening new collaboration not only between the Europe, Africa, Spain, Morocco, but also in all the Mediterranean area.
Thank you very much, and I will follow your lead in thanking ICESCO. But I have one last question, and I'm going to be very, very, very short because I don't want to miss the opportunity of having a full line here with fantastic gentlemen. I would like to follow up on the what was mentioned before in the women. Thank you very much for having a female moderator at this roundtable. But some of the things mentioned before was perhaps I would like to what you would like to see, or how can you minimize the gap also for financial inclusion, particularly for the empowerment of women from the positions that you're sitting. 30 seconds, if you can make it.
You come up with a question. We can take one day and even more speaking about it. But in 30 seconds, I will say that obviously, the situation is totally different depending the country where you live or the region where you live. In my case, about more, invisible barriers than real barriers of women, in the startup ecosystem or in the investing angel network, president and vice president are both, and I think that the only thing that should be really, promoting more implication in the innovation ecosystem and investment ecosystem, but from the legal framework, there is no barrier, I think.
Thank you very much.
Well, we try to include as much as possible. We try to have at least 25% of it's a way of doing it to have VCs or funds led by women for women. That would be, and it's working in Tunisia. It's maybe starting in Morocco, and of course in Europe. It's always working.
Thank you very much.
So, I'll take Morocco. So, guess who has the most research papers done in Moroccan universities? Maybe I'm boring with the sandbox thing, but again, if we get to a point where universities, it's where it's voluntarily concentrated, and we guide them to entrepreneurship with specific programs, it will improve a lot for women, because they need to take a step forward, but they're not going to do it on their own. So if we encourage, nobody encourages them right now. They do their research, their papers, they stop there. So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, way more papers than men. So that's where it starts. We need to grab their hands from there.
Thank you very much. Short and sweet.
So the environment around space has been, mission is to create. We are, I'll refer back to the panel, several statements around solve the challenges of our time, operate every single solver without boundary.
In all the fields. For example, women are is a half of the firms, especially in IT field and technology. Very few of them are really working there, and especially in higher positions. And he also asked what we would be done in our position to do it. Unfortunately, I don't have some big statistics at the moment, but I may say that 2 or 3 Uzbekistan are led by women, and they are here.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, panel WBF and friends, and thank you for hospitality and a great event. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You would have enjoyed the food also, and then you will enjoy the food also later. And now it's a time to announce the results of the competitors. Everyone did a great job. So I would like to invite the chair of the jury, Dr. Thomas,